Hello, Dan.
It's Bob.
Hey,
Hey, Bob, how are you?
Good.
Kim, you here?
Yep. I'm here.
Yeah, you have to, I want to rename your audio if I can. Hey, Rachel.
Hey, Dan. Just so you know,
Where?
I heard from Tom, and he's going to be calling in.
Okay.
Hi, Rachel.
Hi, how you doing, Kim?
Good. How are you? How are you feeling?
Feeling good. Can't complain
Good.
right now.
Good.
So, Dan, how many people from the commission are on this call already? Do you know?
Gary and Bob are the two I heard. I'm not sure who else.
Mike Miller, I'm on.
Oh, okay. Hi, Mike.
Like, could you, which do you know which phone? Did you call in or are you on your computer?
I called in. I'm on the phone.
Okay, I will change your name now. Bob, are you there?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay, you're 3.
And so
So we
then,
have a quorum.
yeah, we have a quorum, and so even whenever Tom is able to get in, I know he's in the car, he'll be able to speak up as needed. Okay. It's getting close to the bewitching hour. Has anybody heard from Evan at all?
I heard from him today about the photo, but that was it.
Okay.
Sorry about the barrage of emails to the commission, but
Oh my gosh, don't worry. I'm sorry for you.
it just kept coming.
All right.
And I kind of did it because we were not going to meet in December, so.
Right, right. Well, I guess we can go ahead and start the meeting because it is 6 o'clock. So are you guys ready? Are we recording and everything?
Yes.
Okay. So I'd like to call this regular meeting of the Old Lyme Inland Wetlands and Water Courses Commission to order. Today is Tuesday, November 17th, 2020. It is 6 p.m. and we are meeting via WebEx. The first item on our agenda is under new business, and that is the 30 Townwoods Road property for the Food Bank Community Garden behind the field house on the Townwoods recreational facility. Do we have anybody from that application on the call? All right. Dan or Kim, do you know anything about this application?
Yes, Jim Ward emailed me regarding putting this organic garden on the Townwood property. He went to the Park and Recreation Commission. They were supportive of the idea, but they said that he needed to get wetlands approval to create the garden. There is a vernal pool out there, so I guess we would have to email him to stake out the location and go out and look at it, if that's what the commission needs to do. And also they would need to submit application from the town.
Great. And who just joined? Hello, who is that?
Jim Ward.
Hi, Jim.
How are you? Okay, yeah, I just heard you discuss it. I couldn't get the link to work, so I'm on my phone here.
Oh, that's okay. So do you want to tell us a little bit about the property?
Okay, it's right behind the field house, and there's a slight rise from the baseball field, and it was flat and just scrub grass and stuff up there. I guess it's mowed maybe once a year or something. Yeah, so that's the area.
What are the dimensions or proposed dimensions?
Well, I'm looking at, I wanted to start small at 1/4 acre to 1/2 acre, and that would all, and depending on the success, for the volunteers I had, expanding to hopefully, or to maybe 1 acre, but that's.
Okay. And would you be able to stake out where the wetlands are on the property prior to a site walk from the commission?
Would I be able to stake out the wetlands?
Yes, or, if you have a soil expert or somebody that could stake out the wetlands, so when we go, we're aware of where the wetlands are, where the upland review area is, so we can see how the project would either affect the upland review area or the wetlands themselves.
No, I don't have anybody like that. I was coming to you hoping you guys knew where the wetlands were, and I could stake out where my thoughts were for the gardens, but
We may have some mapping from the senior center project that we could possibly use to look at.
Okay.
I would think the important part is to stake out where the garden is, and then we can find the wetlands.
Right. I
yeah,
mean,
that's
finding wetlands, it can be a tricky science because sometimes it comes down just to the soil, but maybe, as Kim said, if we do have wetland mapping available from other projects, we could at least use that to orientate ourselves when we get to the site, and just see how the garden might end up affecting it, and then also ask questions about the type of gardening and what's going to be happening on the site and how that could affect the wetlands. So these are some of the things that we would be interested in discussing after we do the site walk, and probably at the next meeting of the commission, which will be in January of 2021.
okay.
Okay.
What
So
would be a day for the site walk?
we haven't come up with any yet. So does anybody have any, I hate to say, does anybody have travel plans? Because that would put a bullseye on your forehead. But after the holiday and everything, our next meeting is in January. So does anybody have any conflicts with any particular dates for a site walk? It does look like we're going to have at least up to 7. So we might be looking at possibly doing a weekend site walk.
The next 2 Saturdays, I might not be available. Could we look at, since we don't have a meeting in December, could we do December 5th as a site walk?
December 5th, does anybody have any issues with December 5th? Okay.
What time?
Okay, so December 5th, we can put that down as a site walk day, and then we'll start at 9 a.m. And so looking at all the properties, we might need to move things around as we go through the agenda, just to make sure that we're being efficient with how we move around Old Lyme together. But we can always just say we'll start at Woods Road. Does anybody see any issues with starting at Town Woods Road?
No.
None? Okay. So let's plan on being, somebody saying something? Okay, let's plan on being at Town Woods Road on December 5th at 9 a.m. for the first site walk.
Very good.
Okay. All right, Jim, and so then we'll see you there, and if we need to follow up with you at all before then, I'm sure Kim has all your contact information.
Yes.
Great.
Thanks for your time.
No problem, thank you.
Take care.
You too. All right, so then item number 2 under new business is 99 Halls Road for a proposed gas station and convenience store. However, that has been removed from the agenda tonight because we have not received any documentation about that proposal from the applicant, is my understanding. Am I right in that, Dan?
Yeah, you're correct. They weren't ready in time to be heard.
Okay. So we'll just go through that without addressing it since we don't have any information, and if anything comes up, it will be on the January meeting, which is our next regular meeting. Okay, so then moving on to number 3, which is 6 Jericho Drive regarding a cutting in Bucky Brook. Is Anne online?
Yes, I am.
Okay, Anne, hi.
Hi.
So we've received a number of pictures from you regarding this, including one earlier today. Why don't you tell us what's going on?
Well, I don't know if you received the letter that we wrote, but this is just what we've noticed on this lot, which is abutting the land trust property in the marsh area has been clear cut, and it appears that it's, you know, well within 100-foot distance, cutting right down into the marsh area.
Okay,
So
and
we're concerned about it.
is there concern that they've cut trees on land trust property as well?
Possibly. It's very hard to tell exactly where the boundary line is there because it's not been marked. But it's close. It's very close, I know, to the boundary line, judging by, you know, the parcel line and the GPS. And it's possible some of the trees have fallen into the land trust property. But primarily, we're just concerned about whether this should have been reviewed before they did such massive cutting right next to that large wetland.
Right.
And to our knowledge, they have not, you know, approached in this commission and received any permit to do so.
Right. I mean, to my knowledge, they haven't. And if this is it a recent cutting? Do you know when the cutting occurred?
I know some had been done as of like late December last year, and then they were apparently doing more this weekend, and we were alerted by another neighbor on Jericho Road that was similarly concerned about it.
Okay. So this commission certainly, you know, would be concerned about a cutting that's occurring in an upland review area, but really it would be up to our inland wetlands enforcement officer, Dan, to go out and make contact with the property owner to see what's going on, and then we can go from there. And, you know, possibly see if there's been a violation and try to remediate that if possible. However, and on behalf of the land trust, if they were cutting on land trust property, you guys certainly have legal action that you can take on behalf of the land trust, but that's not something you can help with.
No, no.
Yeah, so Rachel,
I understand that. I was primarily, you know, the enforcement action, and I wanted this commission to be aware of it.
Okay.
Hey,
Yeah,
Ann,
so
would
my-
Dan, go ahead, Dan.
My plan was to send out an informal notice of violation to them, probably tomorrow. I believe Kim had sent a map I had quickly done that showed kind of a red line on the 100-foot review area. And based on the photos Anne's provided, I'm confident enough to at least start with an informal notice of violation and try to get out there on site to get more information.
Okay. Very good.
Would 6 Jericho let
Rachel?
you access it?
What was that, Kim?
I heard Kim.
Would 6 Jericho let Dan access that area? Or the resident or whoever, the neighboring property that complained?
Is that a
Ann,
question to Anne?
Yeah, I think that, yeah.
Yes.
We haven't been in contact with the residents of 6 Jericho. So I don't know if they would let you access the property there. You could try accessing it through the land trust property, but I can tell you I was knee deep in mud taking the photos that I did, and right at the borderline, so it'd be very difficult. I think you could contact the neighbors at number 4.
Okay, I can reach out to them.
Yeah. to go from their house possibly, yeah.
Okay, well,
I had
I'll send the, I'll try to get some imagery, from Fort Jericho if that's possible, and if not, we'll let the enforcement process play out and,
Okay,
take it from there.
all right.
I just had a question. Dan, the line that you drew, I'm looking at your map.
Yep,
So
that's
is
the red line.
is
Go ahead, Mike, I'm sorry.
that's 100 feet from the water line, I assume?
So I took the wetlands layer is the purple that the town uses, the soil layer to roughly identify where wetlands are, and I just took 3 or 4 spot measurements of 100 feet, and then I drew that line on there to give you a rough idea of where the 100-foot review area was.
Then the allegation is the clear cutting is basically from that line to the water, and it's like about to cut down to the ground.
That's my understanding. Is they took all the trees from looking at Ann's photo. They took all the trees off the hill slope that goes down from their back of their property to the wetland.
Right.
Okay, I understand. All right, thank you.
Yep.
And I thought I heard
Rachel, this is
at one point.
Rachel.
Yeah,
This is Evan, and I was. It might be worthwhile trying to establish in this process, establishing the property line, so if there has been a timber trespass, the land trust would be could be awarded a compensation for the loss of the trees on
right.
their property.
That
Yeah.
was a little
We're
early.
actually in the process of trying to get a survey of that whole Jericho property. Only
Yeah.
portions of which we really have, surveyed with property markers.
Right.
But I think that the felled trees, are a problem. But as you know, there's beaver activity in that area as well, also falling trees. So it's not probably the primary issue, but we're aware of our rights there and we'll reserve those. So, yeah.
Well, I think my main concern is the erosion, the potential for erosion on that very steep hillside. I'm familiar with that property, and it may be one that I actually had a listing on years and years ago, and it's very steep. And taking all the vegetation off it would compromise the soil there. So there could be, some serious sedimentation going into the wetland.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then, Dan, depending on your success getting access to the property and everything, maybe we'll hold off on a sidewalk mission, just because I think having a bunch of people suddenly show up rather than just the enforcement officer, that might not be good. So we'll keep that off the site walk for now, and then we can assess this in January, and depending on how you've done with the enforcement action going forward, we'll just check in. Okay.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, so then.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks, Anne. Okay, so moving on to number 4, which is 16 Colt Lane for Fran Sablon, regarding the installation of a 16 by 12 foot shed. Is Fran on here?
Yes, good evening. Thank you.
Hi, Attorney Sablon. How are you?
I'm well. How are you today?
Doing well, thank you. Do you want to tell us a little bit about the shed on your property? I know we visited it a couple months ago.
Yes, you did, and we've made the improvements that we were allowed to make, and substantial other improvements to the house inside and out. And the project looks very nice, I think, I trust.
Wonderful.
So the storage shed is something we'd like to construct. It would. I tried to depict it on the map. I know it's a small map, but you might remember the back right side of the house. The 12 by 16 shed being 192 square feet, I think. We'd like to construct it just on site, stick build it, as they say, rather than try to bring in a pre-made storage shed. because it's a slope, and it might be difficult to access with machinery or equipment to bring in a shed. So we don't need to touch the grade at all. It's relatively flat in the area that I've depicted. It's to the if you're at the back of the house looking up towards the street, it's to the left. It would not extend beyond the back line of the house, if you will, the back plane of the house. The 12 foot of depth could fit in that area. We have a slope, what was a slope going down to it. We've reconstructed that wall to make it better. We have crushed stones on top, and I would just propose to put crushed stones on the bottom as a bed, if you will, on top of the existing grade. Level it as such with cinder blocks, or probably come up 6 inches off the ground, and put our floor structure for the rim joists at that level. It'd have 2 doors, one a man door facing the wetlands actually, and then the side door for the lawn tractor. I tried to draw a little schematic of what it would sort of look like. I didn't put much detail in it other than the size of it and the shape of it. And I guess that's it. It's I think from the commission's perspective, I'd like to think that there's absolutely no impact or negative impact whatsoever. It's not going to create any more watershed than what would otherwise fall in that footprint. And it's a gradual slope from there to the wetlands. We've seeded the area. Grass is growing nicely now in that whole area. So I think we had that silt fence up till about a month ago or thereabouts. I lost track of time. But we've completed all the work in the back. We built the deck and buried a pipe to the side of the house. Brought it into a let's call it a detention area it's filled with rocks and some riprap and so forth. So all in all, the project I think looks good, and we're just kind of in need for some storage for some lawn tools and garden tools and what have you. It would be nice to have it. It's probably a perfect spot. It really is almost out of sight completely from the street. And again, it would fall within the area of. It wouldn't extend beyond the back line of the house. So I tried to answer whatever I had to answer. I think I gave you a little the survey map and depicted that. Put an attached drawing of what the shed would look like from both the front side and the side. And I can answer any questions.
Great. Okay. Does anybody on the committee have any questions? And try to give people time to unmute themselves.
Sure.
Okay, so I don't see any questions. I know we were just recently out there, but I think just for our purposes, it might just be good to do another quick site walk. Does December 5th in the morning work for you, Attorney Sablon?
Sure, whatever is good for the commission.
So I see we have at least two we have one, the first one being at 9 a.m. I see another property that's pretty close to that one. So maybe we can plan on being at Colt Lane at around 9:30.
Sure. I'll be there all morning, so whenever you arrive, good with me. I appreciate it.
Great. Well, so it'll be the week after Thanksgiving. It's just creeping up on us, so we'll be there soon.
Okay, good enough.
Great.
Thank you all.
Look forward to seeing you.
Yep, you as well. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right. Okay, so moving on to the last item of new business. I believe this is the one that was added this morning, Kim, is the 161-1 Boston Post Road for James Bernardino. to the construction of a single-family residence on a vacant parcel of land adjacent to Black Hall Pond. Is anybody for that application on the line?
Yep, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
That's the first step. I'm even going to try video. There we go. How are we doing?
Thanks.
Okay, let me see if I can get this out of my way, but probably not. Okay. Yeah, hi. My name is Jim Bernardo. I'm a land surveyor here in Waterford, and I'm representing the property owner at 161-1 Boston Post Road. This is an existing lot of record. It's located to the rear of the pizza restaurant, the La Scarpetta Pizza Restaurant in the front next to Coffee's shop there. It's been determined that this is a lot of record. It's about a 1 acre parcel of land. The wetlands were delineated adjacent to Black Hall Pond by Joe Thoreau, who is a soil scientist from the Voluntown area. Joe also serves as the wetland officer for many of the smaller towns up in that area, including the town of Voluntown. So Joe delineated the wetlands. The property owner wishes to construct a single family home on the lot. We did some test holes with ledge light a few weeks back. Found some very suitable locations for on-site septic, and some of the drainage from the parking lot of the pizza restaurant actually drains out to this property, which will have to be piped in order to make a dry area for the driveway to come through. And I really think the commission just has to go out there and take a look at it. We can discuss it when you get there. It's a difficult site. I think the commission needs to take a look at it, and we can get a feel of what the applicant wants to do out there.
Great.
But as I said, it is a lot of records, so we're trying to see what we can get to work.
Sure. And so does that December 5th date work for you?
Let's see. December, what was the date?
5th, it's a Saturday.
December 5th. Sure. Yep.
Okay. And so we're looking at probably being in that area by 9:15. Is that okay?
Yep.
Great. So we'll put you down for 9:15. If we're a few minutes late, it's just travel time from the last site visit.
That's fine. 9:15 on December 5th.
Great.
Okay. All right. Thank you. We'll see you then.
Great. Thank you.
Okay. Yep. Bye.
Okay. And I didn't mean to cut off anybody. Did anybody have any questions, or just waiting until the January when we have seen the site? And then I assume all of you were able to review the application that Kim forwarded to us this morning.
Yeah, Rachel, this is Evan. My only comment is that obviously we've had some issues around Black Hall Pond with rising water levels, and so I'll be interested to see what the terrain on this lot looks like, and you know, whether there's any possibility that he may be, you know, the lot may be approved, but was approved back some time ago before people were concerned with building in floodplains.
Right. Right. Okay. Well, yeah, looking at the site map, it does seem like terrain is going to be a bit of an issue. So it'll be good to be on there, be able to see that.
Yep. Good.
Great. All right. So just toggling between all the different applications and the amended agenda. Okay. So we've gone through all new business. So now we're moving on to old business, which is labeled number 5, but I believe it should be number 6, which is the point of woods filling of the stream over the years at 29 and 31 Connecticut Road. I'll say for the record that this baby gave me a hard time the day of the site walk, and so I was not able to make it, but I did visit it that afternoon. So I think Tom was definitely there. Anybody else that was there, feel free to pipe up and voice any thoughts or comments, concerns about that. All right. So.
But wait, excuse me. What, yeah. Evan, were you there?
No, I missed the site walk, and tell you the truth, didn't get by the property, so I haven't seen it, but, so I can't comment on
All right.
what was going on there.
I was there. I'll comment what I can. I think we asked the applicant to get with the tidelands, the deep, and determine where the tidelands and the inland wetlands meet. And I asked him to do that expeditiously because this is our last meeting for the year. So he knew if he had to do something, he knew he had to get back to us tonight, and he didn't. So that's where we stand there.
All right. Yeah, that was a question I had when when this issue first came up, was whether we actually had jurisdiction, because if it was deemed tidal wetland, it would be under the deep jurisdiction and not ours.
So I think we're just waiting on him to get back to us.
Yeah. Okay.
Great. So then, no need to put that on the sidewalk list, since some people have already seen it. So we'll just wait. And is anybody from that property on the call today?
Rachel,
Yeah.
I think, Dan, correct me if I'm wrong, I think we may have led them to believe after looking at it that we felt it was inland wetlands.
Oh, okay.
My hunch was that was inland wetlands, but like Gary said, we haven't heard back, or we haven't got any information, correct, Kim?
No, but I think in talking to Brascarelli, or from Point of Woods, the maintenance guy, I thought we had indicated to him that was inland wetlands, so that's where we kind of left it. So I'm not sure. I'm just unclear whether he realized that he still had to pursue that after our conversations. So
yeah, it's just tough because me and Kim work at the site walk. So I guess what me and Kim can do is reach out to him and ascertain what he thinks was the conclusion of that site walk, and then try to steer him from there.
Okay. All right. So then we'll just put this on the agenda again for the January meeting. Hopefully we can get to the bottom of that and get in contact with the person that sent this in. All right, so then moving on to old business number 6, which is 8 Avon Avenue, a potential inland wetlands violation. I know this was on the agenda last meeting. So is there any update regarding this?
Yeah, there is. I sent out a couple of the pictures. I finally got contact with the complainantee again, and he got, through some finagling, I was able to finally get these pictures off of his phone. And I shared 4 of them with you. 2, yeah. I believe, 4 showing a very wet lot and a pile of dirt there that I believe has been from prior filling, and then 2 of inaction. And so presently right now, that lot is now, looks like it's entirely covered in 6 inches of millings. I met Tom out there last week to look at it, and I drafted the letter tonight. So that's going on, a notice of violation going out to them tomorrow, asking them to cease any grading or filling that they plan on doing in the future until this can be resolved.
Okay, great. Does anybody else have any questions regarding that?
Dan, can you tell us what the material is? And the first picture, there's a pile of what looks like pallets or something on the left-hand side of the photograph, and it looks like they're storing some sort of building material or something in that wetland.
Yeah, so the 2 older pictures, I'm not certain on the date they were taken yet. There's a prior complaint made on this property that I believe these 2 prior pictures were were about when they were complained. When I looked into it, I couldn't find anything about any action that was taken by the office. So, but the material on there now, looking at it with Tom, was 6 inches of millings, which is crushed up asphalt.
Oh, boy, yeah.
Yeah, so there were two
Okay.
large trailers on the property when we visited. But yeah, I'm going straight to a notice of violation and asking them to see
Yeah.
any further action.
Okay. Good. Okay, that sounds good.
Okay.
Okay. And is this something you've been in contact with the town attorney about at all?
Not yet, no, but I will once I get a response from the homeowner and see whether they're willing to meet with the commission or whether they're not. The complainantee had indicated that they feel that they were entitled or had the right to do this. But the area is clearly in the town wetland layer, I think from the picture that was provided, and I have many more regarding the area. It shows that there was a wet spot there, and you can see it in the 2019 aerial photo as well.
Right.
It's on the town website. You can see there's a little area there that just seems like it's water. And based on my first visit to the site, I mean, to now, it's completely different. They cleared everything out as well. So, yeah, it's much different than the first time I went out there when he complained that they were putting some brush there. They jacked that up to 10 or 11. It's completely different than it was.
Okay. All right. All right, so
Dan,
I got a question for Dan. So you've been there once already and
I've
what,
been there twice now.
the first time you were there, what was the result of that?
I had actually brought it up to the commission at a prior meeting, and it was, I only had 3 pictures. I couldn't really see onto the site at all because it was so overgrown at the time. And so in talking with the commission at the last meeting, it was, investigate further and see what you can find. Well, once I finally got these pictures from the old homeowner, literally the next day or two, he was blasting me photos out of them having cleared everything and put the millings. So that's when I ended up talking with Tim, meeting Tom out there just to see what we could see. It's clear from the road now what's there. Avon is a very small side street in Rogers Lake, but if you drive there, you can see it right from the road. It's as clear as day.
All right, thank you.
Okay. And so then moving on to item 7 under old business, which is 370 Shore Road. Dan, you're up again. How's that going?
This one's going a little slower than I liked. I want to make one correction. I think I indicated at the last meeting that there was a prior violation of with the dam. It was actually it was a dam. They had problems with the dam in 2005, and the violation referred to timber cutting that occurred at the area, and he had to get a timber permit and stuff. I spoke with Yvonne Hall, who works in the dam group at Deep. I relayed some information up to her, and I'm trying to get out to a neighbor's property to take some better photos to share with Yvonne, and then take it from there. If the state does kind of take control of this at some point, whatever they order would supersede any inland wetland action.
Right, right. Yeah, no, dams are deep responsibility, so we'll give that away.
Yeah, at one point, and in talking to Yvonne and reviewing the documents, it looks like the dam was breached, so that it could be downgraded to I think it was a B from an A level hazard dam. And it really just appeared from my brief interaction. And I think you can see kind of the new concrete retaining type wall that they poured, that they did put down. They did do work on the remnants of the dam, and that would be an issue with Deep. But the main thing now is to get the neighbor to allow me onto the other property so I can get some good photos of the situation to depict to the state.
Great. Okay, well, thank you, Dan. All right, does anybody have any questions about that before we move on to the minutes? Okay, hearing none, I should say. Let's move on to minutes. So we need to get approval of the regular meeting minutes from October 27th and also the site walk meeting at November 7th. So let's deal with the regular meeting of October 27th. Did everybody have a chance to review? And if so, does anybody have any changes to those minutes? Okay, hearing none, can I have somebody make a motion to approve the minutes of October 27th, the regular meeting?
I'll make a motion to accept the regular meeting minutes on October 27th.
Thank you, Bob.
And I will second it.
Great, thanks, Evan. All those in favor?
Bob, were you at that meeting?
Oh, yes.
I don't think you were there, Bob, right?
No, I wasn't.
Or were you? Okay, so if you weren't there, you can't vote on the minutes. Sorry.
Well, I can make
I'll make the motion to approve the meeting minutes of October 27th. And then, Evan, do you still second?
Yes, I will second that, Rachel.
Thank you. And all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great. Thanks, Mike and Gary. I don't know if Tom is on. I think he might be traveling. So if we get the minutes back, we can check with Tom after and then reflect that in the minutes. And so hearing no nays to that, we'll approve the minutes of October 27th, 2020. And then let's move on to the site walk meeting of November 7th. I was not there. Evan was not there. And then Gary was. Bob, were you at the site walk on the 7th?
Rachel, I don't have any minutes.
Oh, okay. Well, there we go.
Somebody has to, I wasn't there, so I can't. I need something put together.
Okay, so who was at the site walk? I know Tom was, Gary, you were. Dan, were you at the site walk?
I was not.
Okay, so we can either, Gary, if you want to write up something quick for Kim, or we can ask Tom to do that regarding the site walk, and then we'll try to approve those at the January meeting. But really, it would only be Gary and Tom that would be able to vote. And I'm sorry, Mike, were you there?
I was there, but I didn't write down the folks' names.
Okay, that's fine. So we'll at least have 3 people that are able to vote on it, and then everyone else will have to abstain, but we can put that over until January. So Gary, would you mind writing something up?
I would prefer Tom, but I will definitely be available to help him with it. He carried on 99% of the conversation there.
Great.
I told you what I remembered of it.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I'll reach out to Tom via text after this, and I know he's in contact with Kim. So we'll get that done, and then we'll put that on the January agenda as well. Okay, so there's nothing else on the agenda. Does anybody have anything they want to discuss from the commission? I know that sounds.
I know it ran out just as we were.
Perfect timing. We're just about to end.
I will say one thing. I never had so much trouble getting into a Cisco or a Zoom as I did this one. It was totally different than anything I've done before.
Oh, okay. Learning curve. Unfortunately, my one, so
All right, does anybody have anything else to add?
I will make a motion to adjourn.
Great, thank you, Evan. Could I have a second?
Second.
I'll second.
Great, okay, I think Gary beat you to it, Mike. All right, so then we can adjourn this meeting. See you guys all on December 5th for the site walks.
Okay, thank
Thanks,
you.
everybody.
Bye, thanks, have a good night.
Okay, thanks.
See you tomorrow, Kim.